Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Back in action. Alright. Came to finish off this Ninja Turtle deal. Since my camera cut off on me when I last was speaking on it. But we'll get back to it. Little twist on this one. Now, the first one was called Saturday Morning Cartoons with the Princess Cereal. But see, this one right here, we're gonna call it After School Cartoons with the Princess Cereal. Now, I'm having a little fun with it, tapping back into my inner child, reflecting on my childhood. And what I mean by that, or why I'm saying that is, well, growing up, basically the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would come on all week. Once, I think after a year or two of them being in syndication, because you know how television shows are. They had that one channel when they first come out. They had that one channel. You know, they showing all new episodes because it's a new show or whatever. So of course the first year it's gonna be all new episodes, and then they'll get picked up by another television station, and that television station would run the reruns all week, or every day, or at least 5 days a week. And then the television station that originally hosted the cartoon or the television show or whatever, they'll continue to play the new one. So I think the Ninja Turtles came on in Houston. I think they came on channel 11 on Saturdays, and then once they started once, I think the next station that picked them up was channel 20, which is I think UPN now, something like that. They went through a lot of changes or whatever with the name thing or whatever, but they started like I said, I think channel 11 was, I think it was channel 11 that play the new episodes, and then during the week channel 20 would play like 2 episodes a day of the reruns around 3 or 4 o'clock after school or whatever. So that's one of the things I remember from my childhood. So I said I'll put a little twist on it. I'll, hit y'all the first one. I'll hit you with the Saturday Morning Cartoons, and then the part 2 or whatnot. I would come back and do a little after school, call this one the After School Cartoons with the Princess Cereal, because that's another thing a nigga did too. Come home from school, drop all your shit, make your bowl of cereal, get in front of the goddamn TV. Not quite sure how what kind of cartoons the kids into these days, or how dope theirs are. But I know when we was coming up, man, well, we had a bad motherfucking lineup, man. Like, the Ninja Turtles was like channel 20, and then 39 would be they had a boss up lineup, Batman the Animated Series, which is one of the livest Batman cartoons. I know they got many different variations now, but the Batman, if you can get your hand, I don't know if you can get that on DVD or Netflix it or whatever, but Batman the Animated Series, bad motherfucker. Bad motherfucker, man. Animaniacs, ill. I think the X-Men, I think the X-Men came on Saturday mornings. But Batman the animated series, Animaniacs, what else was it? Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, greatness. Bad motherfucking cartoon, man. Darkwing Duck, Chip and Dale, DuckTales or whatever. DuckTales, shows like Chip and Dale, DuckTales. Chip and Dale and DuckTales was a little bit, I think they were still in the mix around the time Animaniacs and the Batman animated series came around. But they came a little bit before those. But they still ended up in the same rotation sometimes, if I'm not mistaken. No big deal, I'm just, reflecting with y'all, or whatever. But yeah, so we're gonna call this one the after school cartoon show or whatever. Got a few more things I want to speak on in regards to the Ninja Turtles. So I left off. I know it cut off while I was reading, but I just out of consideration for TV land out there, I ended off or go back to where I ended off at. Let me see. I just start off with the last line where it cut off at, but because I was speaking about the whole Master Splinter thing and the arrow root or the arrow rat or whatever. Another thing interesting about the word arrow rat, when you look at Allah in Islam, which is just another form of Osiris, see what they don't tell you about Allah is Allah has a wife who is the feminine aspect. In Islam, the masculine god would be Allah. Then you have Allat, which is A-L-L-A-T, which I found interesting about this because, like I said, the L and the R are interchangeable when you're dealing with comedic science. So when you look at the word Ararat, A-R-A-R-A-T, if you was to take the R, the first R, put an L right there, and then you take the next R, and put an L after that, you would have a lawlat, or aralat, or alarat, alarat, ararat, alalat, Allah. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was interesting. It corresponds a little bit more when you're dealing with the R roots, which is A-R-R-U-T, because the R's, just like the L's in Allah, come one after the other. In this word here, the R's come after each other, A-R-R-U-T. So you can take both of those R's and turn them into L, it'll be Alut, or you can play around with it, R-Alut, or R-Alut, or Alut, or shit. Al-Root, Al-Root, or R-Loot, you know. It's a little something to play around with. So yeah, that was the thing with Master Splinter. I got my notes here. Another thing I want to speak on in regards to Master Splinter, we'll go into a little bit of his history. Try to go into deal with the character. Let me see how much time we got. Try to deal with the characters a little bit. So we'll deal with your boy Splinter. Now, and really you can, I'll get to that later, but now, when you're dealing with Splinter, you're dealing with, with these heroes and stuff, when you're dealing with the franchises, they change a lot of things up. I guess different companies or different entities buy the rights or whatever and get to do what they want to do. Just like when you look at Batman, when you look at the first Batman from 1989, you will see one story on how he came to be, or you'll see certain stories in that version, and then when you go into the Dark Knight series and all that, you see things start to change or whatever. So with Master Splinter, the thing about him is they got different variations of his character. So on one hand, he was the on one hand he was the pet of a ninjutsu master. And if you go watch the movie, the first movie, you will see put it up on you put it up on Google for a little assistance. But on one when you watch the movie, you will see him training. You see him training with his master or whatever. And then okay, we go here. You'll see him training with his master. Now his ninjutsu master was a guy named Hammer Toy, Hamtoi, which is interesting because I'm sitting here telling you that Splinter would be a form of Osiris, resting in Rat Tormentor, and the word Ham means black. You know, that's why I would tell you in the Bible, when they try to flip it and say, well, the people of Ham are cursed, because you know they try to make it seem like black people are cursed, so they put since Ham is the black relation, it means black. They try to make it seem like we the cursed ones, which is some bullshit. I mean, on one hand, we did go through our Holocaust, but at the same time, we went through the Holocaust just to come out to be the chosen people or whatever. And yeah. See right here it says one of his aliases is Hamtoi Yoshi. High skilled master of ninjutsu, high intellect, master of stealth, keen sense of smell, the nose. So let me see if I can pull it. That's what I be hating. Okay, let me see. I'll read it. Splinter, often referred to as Master Splinter by his students, is a fictional character from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics and all related media. A mutant rat, he is the martial arts and ninjutsu instructor of the Turtles, as well as their adoptive father. In most incarnations, Splinter is a mutated, reincarnated martial artist, Hamtoi Yoshi. In others, including his original incarnation, he was Yoshi's pet rat. So on one hand, they saying he's a mutated form of Hamtoi, and then which if you use to break Hamtoi down, ha, that's another word for breath. Ma, the mother, and then to, two. So that's two. You know what I'm saying? That goes to the. I know my camera ain't. I'll probably have to go back to that when I gotta adjust my camera when I start dealing with the picture. Yeah, the high, that comes from when you go look at when you deal with ancient Kemetic zoology, it comes from the lion. And the reason why ha is a word for breath is because when the lion takes a deep breath, just like us too as well. You know, sometimes you yawn or you take a deep breath, you go, you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. And I already broke down was how the shape of the rat and the pineal gland are the same. Now, if you want to take it a step further, one thing I noticed about Kemet too is a lot of the time when they're dealing with two different variations of things, they deal with the smaller. That's why I was telling y'all in one of my other videos, we always think bigger is better, but You know, that's why I hear a lot of these guys is teaching now. They're like, yeah, we were giants once. We got to go back to the giant stage. It's like, no, the giant stage is not. It's not about being bigger. It's about the and everything has its cons and pros or whatever. But in ancient Kemet, the pygmy or the Twa were the original men, Beth, Osiris. Those were considered, as a matter of fact, I got another book called Magical Thought Forms or something like that. And it's speaking on how, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was speaking on how, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a short guy, I'm just dealing with the science. But it's a part in that book where it says in so many words, like a lot of people think that being big and tall is the thing, but really the most magical people are the little people. You know, hits your fairies, gnomes, and things of that nature, which do exist. Like, we think these are just mythical characters, but no, the fairies and gnomes and shit do exist. But anyway, I don't want to get too off subject with all these things. But I said that to say, so when you look at the rat, as opposed to the shrew mouse, the rat would be the bigger one out of the two. So that would be like the let me see if y'all can still see it a little bit. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. So the rat would be like, okay, the whole joint, boom, boom, and then the little part would be the shrew mouse. Now it's all still massive splinter. It's still all related to the same. You can still consider this the rat and the pioneer and all that. Just give y'all an alternative way of looking at it too. So the big version would be boom, but as I tell you, the most powerful and potent is the center. So if we was to say which one is the rat and which one is the mouse, this would be the rat, which this is the outside part, which is if you're not centered and the only thing you're dealing with these, then you're in trouble. You deal with the whole thing, but you come from the center, or you position yourself from the center and deal with everything. The damned are those that are for some of the words fucked off, are the ones that only deal with this without being in the center. I'll get deeper than that. Hopefully I didn't say in this video. But just like they tell you about the crocodile, which is a character in the Turtles, it's a crocodile character in the Turtles too. The ancient Egyptians, they didn't fuck with the big alligators. The big alligators were considered soot typhon. But they dealt with the big crocodiles, but they dealt with the baby crocodiles. They venerated the baby crocodiles, the small crocodiles, because the small crocodiles, what? It's small like the center point. And they would decorate them with jewelry and get them drunk, pour alcohol down their throats and all of that right there. So just like you had the big alligator would be the soot typhon, which deals with the outer, which separates. But then the little crocodile, Sebek, that sits in the center, would represent the center, where your center, where you keep your center, your energy, and he represents the small point or whatever. And that's not the knock, you know, we don't want to get too literal with this shit, like, oh, if you're a tall or you're a big person, that means you are, because, you know, I could tell you about Buddha and the Big Mom and all that too. So, but I just put that out there and let you deal with it however you want to deal with it. However you see fit. Because that's one of the things that the Kamites dealt with too, contradiction or whatever. The reconciliation of opposites. So, I guess that's enough about Splinter. We'll go in. Oh, that's another thing too. I went and I know in the last video I told y'all that Baxter Stockman was which was the man who was transformed into a fly. I was telling you how in the original part, or in the comic book, he was originally black. But when they started making the cartoon, they didn't want to make him a black man because he was gonna be working for a white guy in the cartoon, and they were scared that it'd be they were afraid that a black man taking orders from this white guy in this cartoon would resemble too much of a master-slave relationship. So they and they didn't say it in these words when I read it, but that's so many words they were saying. They didn't want to stir any racial tension up, so they made him white. But I can't find that now. This was like, what, this 20, I read that like 2015 or something like that on Wikipedia or whatever. And I can't find it now. But I'm bringing it up because I don't want motherfuckers to think, oh, because I told you to go Google it in my last video, but you probably couldn't find it. So I don't want motherfuckers to be like, oh, that nigga lying, he just talking. Like, nah, that shit was really up. I don't know what happened to it. But I can't find it now. But I just want to reiterate that, let it be known that I ain't, I don't get in front of this camera and talk just to look fancy and shit, or I steer you strong before I steer you wrong. And if something is inaccurate, it's not on purpose or whatnot. If I say something and it's not, because we all are, no one's beyond or immune to error. Not even me. So I just wanted to make that clear. And share another quick. Oh yeah, that too. I didn't know this when I did the last video, but just to double back, I see that Tyler Perry, they actually had Tyler Perry play Baxter Stockman in one of the last Ninja Turtle movies. I think the one that came out in 2016, which I didn't know. So they kind of incorporated that black element back into it. Cause like I said, it's a lot of nigga element to the Ninja Turtles. Oh, and peace to my man James Avery, Uncle Phil. I got his name wrong in the last one. I said Avery Johnson, but really James Avery. James Avery, or AKA Uncle Phil, played the voice of Shredder, which reminds me of Star Wars, because in Star Wars they had Darth Vader, which is another version of Soot, just like Shredder. They had James Earl Jones do the voiceover for Darth Vader, which is a black man. So it's like they saying, well, Soot represents darkness, so we gotta to make sure we want to get this real right. So we gonna make sure we get a nigga to play Darth Vader. Same thing with Shredder, except for in the actual cartoon, Shredder is white, but they got the black man voicing him over or whatever, because and his voice does fit that. He has that "I'll get you next time" type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like his voice, he did a good job with that, man. So peace to Mr. James Avery. What was I about to do after that? Oh yeah, that was another story I wanted to tell too. Since we talking about the Fly, which is kind of off the subject, but I want to share this. I used to watch wrestling coming up, and we had this cat named the Iron Sheik. Now the Iron Sheik used to have these goddamn pointy boots. Tip of his boots would curl up into a little point, and I wrote a rhyme where I was like, a flow on point like the tip of Iron Sheik boots, some shit like that, something like that. Don't jock my shit either. Nah, these niggas like to take shit and bite, but so I wrote that rhyme, and I said, you know what? I want to find out the history on that shit. So I googled it, and it took me to YouTube. So it was an interview with Iron Sheik, and he said, they was like, well, how did you come up with the boots? Which is funny because this was the 80s, the late 80s, early 90s when I used to watch wrestling. By the time 91, 92 rolled around, I stopped watching wrestling. But he comes from the era of wrestling I was watching. And So I say like the 2000s, late 90s and 2000s, I start seeing Mexicans wear them same type of boots and shit. And I never really made a correlation. And then recently, right around the time, you know, I came up with that rhyme and shit. I was like, damn, he kind of them boots, you know, kind of like the way the Mexicans be wearing their boots out here. 'Cause, you know, we got a large Hispanic population out here in Texas. So, funny thing about it, man, I go look this shit up, and they was like, well, give us a backstory. So he said one day he was out here in Houston with Jimmy, with another wrestler named Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Peace to Superfly Jimmy Snuka. He made the transition, but he was a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? So he said, Superfly Jimmy Snuka introduced him to the boots in Houston and said, you know, you should wear these boots. This should be your thing or whatever. You go pull it up on YouTube and get the actual what he actually said. But some of the words Superfly Jimmy Snuka was like, this your thing right here. You should do that. Which is funny because when you look at Iron Sheik, I always thought he was an Arab, but he's Iranian. He's an Iranian, got a thick mustache. But when you look at him, he's Iranian, but he look like a Mexican. If you could take him and put a sombrero on him and say that's a Mexican, and you'd be like, you wouldn't know the difference. That's probably why Superfly Jimmy Snuka told him that. So I thought that was an interesting story to show. Look how much time I got. But at the same time, I've heard Iron Sheik say some shit that I really wasn't a fan of as of that old Chris Rock shit. You know, Chris Rock with that old, it's two types of black people. It's black people and niggas, as if to say niggas are the fucked up element of black people. When in all actuality, the word nigga means royalty. So, and Iron Sheik echoed that sentiment. So whatever, but I just thought that was interesting. So, what we gonna get into now? Okay, so we did with Splinter. We'll go into Shredder. Now Shredder, okay, like I tell you, that's Soot. Cause Soot does what? He shreds or he cuts or he dismembers the body of Osiris. When you're dealing with Shredder, you know, his outfit is made out of metal or whatever. And if you look at his headdress, it's almost like an Egyptian headdress. Then he has the metal mask over his mouth, which is Soot Typhonian, because Soot, that's called the muzzles of Soot or whatever. And then when you're dealing with Soot, Osiris is the lord of the underworld, but Soot Typhon is underworld deity to a degree, or dark subconscious deity or whatever, which would be dealing with the underworld. Now, just like when you look at the earth, where all your metals come from, all your precious metals and minerals and all that shit are found in the earth or whatever. So that's Soot Typhonian or whatever. Another thing I want to do, go get this book right here, The Devil. I know it, don't get spooked out. If these niggas ain't out here, these niggas that's teaching you ain't out here giving you books, referencing books for you to go. If you sitting in front of niggas, or niggas sitting in front of you teaching, and they ain't giving you no goddamn books to go read on your own, something ain't right. And Soot is the prototype of the devil. The whole concept of the devil comes from the Egyptian Soot or Set. That's where you get your Set from in the Bible from. Now you see that book, you might go, oh, get spooked out. Don't get spooked out. Go read that and get a history of the concept of the devil that was here before Christianity took it and made it this old spooked out man under the ground with a pitchfork waiting to poke you with some shit. So yeah, with the Shredder thing, then you have Then you have another thing I was speaking on in the last video. I was telling y'all that Shredder, they hideout, or where they used to be at, was this round robot, like this round vehicle with an eye on the top. But I was right. I knew I wasn't tripping. It's called the Technodrome. I'm gonna show that to y'all too, real quick. It's called the Technodrome. Now, sometimes I wonder, do these people, sometimes this shit lines up to the point where it's like, well, these people have to know shit. But then sometimes I'm thinking like, well, maybe these motherfuckers who creating this shit really just don't know, because sometimes the spirit realm is in control. So the spirit realm, I had motherfuckers doing shit and they don't even know why they doing it. But this is the Technodrome right here. No, let me get back there. 31. I got 20 minutes. I might can get some shit to get it done. But that's the Technodrome. Let me speed it up because time getting short. That's the Technodrome. Now look at this. You see that? Alright. Now, let's get back to the... Okay, that's the Technodrome. Alright. So yeah, that's the whole thing with Shredder. And then Shredder's partner in crime is Crane. Now Crane is Crane, K-R-A-N-G. Crane is a brain. He has this big robot, a giant robot. A giant robot that he operates, but he sits in the stomach of the robot and remote controls the robot as his body or vehicle to move around in from the gut. Now I've heard things like people say that the gut that the brain is another, that the gut is another version of the brain, and this, that, and the third. But when I look at the Crane thing, you have Soot, which represents the lower nature, and then he has his counterpart, which is Crane, or his homeboy, which is Crane, operating from the gut or the lower nature, which would be operating from the lower nature. There go Crane right here. Oh shit, let me. It's kind of blurry. Get a little adjustment. There you go. Yeah, that's Crane operating from the belly. So, alright, yeah, it's cool. So, that's Crane or whatnot. Now, got that much. Go pick up the pace real quick. A few other things I want to share with y'all about the turtle and zoology. Now, one thing I found interesting was Michelangelo. Now, first and foremost, you got Michelangelo, Raphael. They named after the archangels, Michelangelo and Raphael. Then you got Donatello and Leonardo. Donatello and Leonardo are named after the Roman painters or Greek painters or whatever era they came from. I want to say that, reference that, because when I did the last one, I just swept them all up under the Roman cats, the Roman, which I know they probably have, which I think they do have Roman artists called Michelangelo and Raphael or whatever. Overall, Raphael and Michelangelo are archangels. Or Michelangelo or Michael being the Mikael being the head of the whole gang of angels or whatever. So let me find it. But I was trying to make correlations between the colors of their bandanas and the chakras. And the goodest I can get was Michelangelo, whose color is orange. Orange with orange corresponds to the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra deals with, one of the things the sacral chakra deals with is water. The sacral chakra is your first chakra from the base of your spine on up. The first will be the root, and the second will be the orange, or the sacral. And that deals with water. Michelangelo, his personality is based off of a California surfer type of cat. So you hear him say a lot of surfer slangs like cowabunga and tubular and which tubular too can you know what I'm saying, but tubular and cowabunga, and, you know, he got a whole surfer swag and, you know, surfing water or whatever. So I found that interesting. And then Raphael, his the color of his bandana is red, and I can't really remember his personality from the cartoon, but when they made the movie, in the movie he was a rebellious type of cat. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Sid Tyson, but he had a rebellion. He had a sense of rebellion to himself. I think he actually ran away in the movies. I think he actually ran away in the movie and separated from his brothers for a minute or whatever within the movie or whatever. But one thing, if you come from that era, if you was a kid in that era and you like Ninja Turtles and you remember the movie, one thing you remember is, because we were so used to watching the cartoon that was PG-13 and all that shit, but when you went and watched the movie, he was the only one in the movie that actually cursed. Something happened and he was like, damn! Now, what the word damn mean? Damn means to curse somebody to hell or something like that. What's the color of hell? And the devil, red. So I don't think that was by coincidence, them doing that. And then when you go to Donatello and Leonardo is the leader. His color is blue. Couldn't really remember his personality. Blue would correspond to the throat chakra. The color blue that he wore would correspond to the throat chakra, but the third eye chakra is indigo, which is another form of blue or whatever. And so at first I was like, well, maybe he's the leader because the indigo, and I was like, nah, because the highest chakra is the violet chakra or whatever, which is like a close to like a purplish or whatever. So when you I couldn't really Donatello, he's the smartest. He's like the scientist of the clique. And his one of his characteristics is he's a scientist. So maybe they made him purple because he was the highest in the mind or whatever. His maybe because since Violet let me see something. Since Violet is the highest color in the spectrum or whatever, maybe they made his bandana purple to correspond with his intelligence or whatever, or him being the highest in the mind or the highest intelligent one or whatever. So that's pretty much all I can come up with when it comes to the color spectrum and the chakras and all that and they bandanas and shit. And it's phone gets my nerves. this slow shit. So let me see how much time I got left. And wow, man. 20 minutes, yeah, we can get busy a little bit. Alright, so few things I want to read to y'all. So we dealt with the shredder. I might have to come back and do one more 20-minute segment on this one, because I wanna get, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get everything I want to get out on this one. But we'll see. So okay. Now this is Secret Teachers of All Ages. The chapter on animals. So let me go to this one right here. Speaking on reptiles. Oh yeah, I gotta get to that too. Show y'all something else. These niggas talking this reptilian shit. Okay. To the Chinese, the turtle was a symbol of longevity. At a temple in Singapore, a number of sacred turtles are kept. The age recorded by carvings on their shells. The American Indians used the ridge down the back of the turtle shell as a symbol of the great divide between life and death. The turtle is a symbol of wisdom because it retires into itself in its own. The turtle is a symbol of wisdom because it retires into itself and is its own protection. It is also a phallic symbol, and in its relation to a long life would signify, as its relation to long life would signify. To the Hindus, symbolize the universe as being supported on the back of 4 great elephants, who in turn are standing up on an immense turtle, which is crawling continually through chaos. Okay, which is all interesting because the turtle is a symbol of the earth, and I'm a Virgo, and the Virgo is an earth sign or whatnot. So and my niggas used to always clown me too, because I used to be not mentally slow, but I move slow, they say. Yeah. Like if I gotta come pick a nigga up, I'm like, man, I'll be there in 45 minutes. They like, that's Sam. 45 minutes, that's I mean an hour and 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Never mentally slow though, but slow as far as moving and shit, I might have to come to grips with that. Do a little better. I think I'm doing a little better with it though lately. But yeah. I want to deal with I got one more thing I want to see if I'm gonna see if I can get through their weapons. I might not be able to. I want to share something else with y'all too, but I might not be able to in this one. But I might have to do another one just to close it out. If I do, it'll be alright. Shit, I gotta use the fucking restroom, but I do not wanna do y'all like that. Cause if I go in there and use the restroom, you will hear it. Then that'd be disrespect. I don't want to disrespect y'all like that. Let me find my other joint, so y'all can. There we go. Alright. I want to show you how this also corresponds to the turtles as in regards to their weapons and or whatnot. All right, we'll go here. Going on here first. Now, one of the things about the turtles was their favorite food, what they used to always eat, was pizza. And what is the pizza? It's in a flat box, a square box. It's a circle in a square box. That's the square circle. But when you're dealing with this, you're dealing with a circle with a square circle, 4 corners, square. But when you cut pizza, what do you cut it in? You cut it in angles. Angles. So pizza, 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 pizza. So it'd be like 4 big slices of pizza. In the theme song, they're called Turtles in a Half Shell. Turtle Power. Turtles in a Half Shell. What's the half shell? Shell, 2 turtles. Shell, 2 turtles. Or shell, half, 2 turtles, 2 turtles. Now, let's go to the weapons. Now, like I said, you look at that, it look like the Technodrome, don't it? Big old round, rotund with an eye on top of it. But, okay. Bag up a little bit. There you go. Now, let's focus on that. Now, Raphael, we'll start with Raphael, which was always my favorite one. His weapons was, they're called sais, which is basically a 3-headed knife. Like, this would be the handle, then you'd have a blade like coming like this, and you have a blade coming like this, and then you have a blade in the middle. Show y'all it. Now, when you look at Michelangelo and Raphael, the leader and the smartest one was Leonardo and Donatello. And both of those, the blue, that's another thing when it comes to the chakras. The blue chakra, these are both chakras that sit above the heart chakra, which were high chakras, or they are more associated with the higher self. When you look at Michelangelo and Raphael, the orange and the red, they're not the smartest of the bunch. Michelangelo is a fun, like I said, he's like a surfer. He's like a young kid, as a kid, fun kid. Michelangelo and Leonardo would be more of the mature ones. When you're dealing with Michelangelo, or Raphael, Donatello and Leonardo were more the mature turtles. Michelangelo was more of a kid, he had like a kid type of spirit about himself in the cartoon. And Raphael was, I can't remember his personality in the damn cartoon, but in the movie, like I said, he was a rebellious one. But you know, they put the that's the sai right there. That's the sai. But in the cartoon, the 2 leaders, or the ones that were the smartest and the leaders, they were associated with chakras that sit in high places or whatever. So that's the sai. Then Leonardo, his weapon was the swords. Yeah, the handle, sword, blade, the axe, the 7 axe. Donatello had the bow staff. The bow staff, these 2 pillars or whatever, but the bow staff would be more so, you can look at both of them as the bow staff, but the bow staff will be more so the pillar and the mental. Because up here, this is the etheric, ghostly, spiritual pillar, and then right here is more of a solid, coagulated, just like the bow staff would be a solid stick. So this bow staff would be the stick or whatever. Then you have Michelangelo. His weapons was the nunchucks. And I'll show y'all all of them, so I won't leave nobody out. But the nunchucks. Man, it's hot in the motherfucker, man. I want to cut the AC on, but that shit be loud as fuck for some reason. And it fucks the video up. So I bear the burden while I'm sitting in here giving y'all the BIEs. Let me see where this at. Oh, I gotta use the restroom bad in the motherfucker. But I'll hold it out. Okay, here we go. Come on now, goddamn it. Ain't got no time. This phone be pissing me off. Okay, good. So these are the nunchucks right here. Oh shit. Come on, man. Let's start this bitch ass shit right now. Come on, man. Fuck. Man, there's some whole ass shit here, boy. Bitch ass phone. Anyway, Michelangelo shit was the nunchucks, man. You Google that shit and see it. What's wrong with this bullshit? But his shit is the nunchucks. And the nunchucks is basically two sticks, short sticks, with a chain in between them. If you don't know what nunchucks are, so it's like it'll be a stick right here, a stick right here, and then in the middle will be a chain connecting them, and you swing around and shit. You know, quite sure motherfuckers know what a nunchuck is around this bitch. But then again, it's new era. This like we live in the new. That's why I speak as if I'm speaking to people who don't know what I'm talking about. Because if you know, you know. But then if you don't know, if you know, you know, it's a bonus. But if you don't know, at least you can get I can, you know, at least give you a concept of what the hell I be talking about when I say shit. But that's the nunchucks. That's the nunchucks. And I might have time to read this last little thing I want to read out of this other book. But let me see if I get through this. Man, I gotta use the goddamn all that fucking water and coffee. No joke. But yeah, Ninja Turtles though, man, one of my favorite cartoons growing up. So oh, I gotta show that shit too. You niggas talking that reptilian shit. Now, for one, you need to stop calling the pseudo powers the pseudo white powers that be, or whatever you want to call them, reptilians, because they're not the reptilians. These niggas you're talking about, these people are shape shifting. These people, how these people gonna be shape shifting reptilians? How they gonna be doing all this shape shifting and shit when these motherfuckers, you know, and this ain't a knock, cause I don't want people thinking I'm racist. So when I speak, you won't think it's coming from a place of emotional racism. That's the reason why I don't put emphasis on the fact that I'm not racist because I'm trying to please white folks necessarily. I say that because I want it to be known that we just dealing with. I'm just saying what I'm saying because it's based off of truth or whatever. Even though there is the things that have been done to my people within the in the name of white supremacy, I do have an anger towards that, but these are nunchucks. But that's not what the shit I'm saying comes from. But these people are not reptilians. You're the reptilian. The reptilian brain or the reptilian those are nunchucks. I'm gonna show you niggas something. And then I'm gonna show you how this 8 keeps coming up. The last thing when I read out of Ancient Egypt, Light of the World, dealing with the Ararat was page 404. That's 8. Now I'm gonna read this to you real quick. How much time we got left? Damn, 55. I'm gonna show you this first. Show you a part of the brain. The cerebellum. Look at this. See that? Now watch this. That's page 62. That's 8. The last page I read about the master, the Ararat and the rat thing was page 404, which was 8. And I got one more goddamn 8 to hit you with. I hope I can. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to it, but let me see. Come on, man, shit. That's why I wish I had better recording shit, so I don't have to be sitting here rushing through all this shit. Look at that now. It's all good though. If I gotta come back and hit y'all with a little extra 15-minute segment, it ain't no big deal. Now, look at this. That's your Ninja Turtles. Boop. Boop. See that? See that? That's your cerebellum. The back of your head. Now you see all this dealing with the 8. Now let me see if I can. I got 3 minutes. Now you go get the hero with 1,000 faces. They got a part in here that's dealing with the turtle. Starting off on page 152. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. I dig this. I'm gonna read it from up here so I can see how much time I got when I'm reading. The sophistication of the humor of, you know what? I ain't gonna be able to get it off. I'll come back. I'll add an extra little bit to this one. It's no big deal. So y'all just stay tuned. I'm gonna close this one out, then I'm gonna come back and hit y'all again with one more 8. Show y'all how this shit be lining up. So y'all niggas hang tight, and I'll be back with you shortly. Peace.